All right, let's dive in. Today, we're heading to a place that packs an entire country's worth of scenery, history, and flavor into just 167 square miles. We are off to the west coast of Scotland to explore the incredible Isle of Arran. You know, Arran's picked up some pretty cool nicknames over the years. Scotland in miniature. That one tells you everything you need to know about its wild diversity. But then you hear geologist's paradise, and that hints at a much, much deeper story, one written in stone that goes back millions of years. It's a place of huge peaks and quiet beaches, and we are about to unravel it all. So what is it? What makes this one little island so captivating to, well, just about everyone? Hikers, historians, foodies, geologists, they all flock here. That's the big question, right? And it's exactly what we're going to figure out together. And here's the secret, the thing that makes Arran so unique. The island is literally split in two by a massive geological fault line, the Highland Boundary Fault. Just imagine this giant crack in the Earth's crust running right through the middle. To the north, you get this rugged, mountainous highland landscape. To the south, it's all gentle, rolling lowland hills. It's this incredible split personality that gives Arran its famous nickname. Now, to really get Arran, you have to go back in time. And I mean way, way back. The story here isn't just about castles and clans. No, it's about continents drifting, volcanoes erupting, and massive sheets of ice carving out the land. Just try to wrap your head around this timeline. About 300 million years ago, the land that would become Scotland was actually crossing the equator. Fast forward to 60 million years ago, a massive volcano erupts, and its cooling magma creates the granite peaks we see in the north today. Then, around 3500 BC, the first farmers arrive, leaving behind these mysterious stone circles. And then, much more recently, in 1787, a geologist named James Hutton shows up. And what he finds, well, it completely changed how we understand our planet. This was his game-changing discovery, Hutton's unconformity. He found this spot where new, flat layers of rock were sitting directly on top of really old, vertical ones. It was like finding two pages of a book stuck together, but with millions of years of pages ripped out from between them. This proved the Earth wasn't just a few thousand years old. It was ancient, shaped by slow processes over an immense amount of time. It was a discovery that absolutely rocked the world of science. And you can feel this deep history everywhere. You can walk among the ancient Machrie Moor Stone Circles, one of the most important prehistoric sites in Britain. You can explore the King's Caves, where Robert the Bruce supposedly got his famous pep talk from a spider. Even the names, like Brodick, which comes from Old Norse for Broad Bay, tell a story of Viking raids. And of course, the landscape holds the sad memories of the Highland clearances, a time when so many families were forced to leave their homes. So, you're hooked. The history, the geology, you want to see it for yourself. But how do you actually get to this incredible island? Let's break down the journey. Okay, getting to Arran is actually surprisingly easy. For most people, the journey starts in a mainland town called Ardrossan. It's only about an hour from Glasgow. From there, you hop on the Caledonian Macbrain ferry. Everyone just calls it CalMac. Honestly, the ferry ride itself is amazing. After about 55 minutes of soaking in the views, you pull into Brodick, which is the island's main village. Once you're on the island, getting around is all part of the fun. There's a 56-mile road that goes all the way around the coast. It's an incredible drive. If you need a shortcut from east to west, there's a road everyone calls the String. If you don't have a car, no problem. There's a really good bus service that covers pretty much everywhere. Or you can just rent a car or a bike right there in Brodick and go exploring on your own schedule. All right, we're here, we're mobile, so let's get into it. We're going to start our tour in that dramatic, mountainous north we talked about, the Highland half of Arran. If there is one single landmark that defines North Arran, it has to be this one, Goat Fell. Its name actually comes from the Old Norse for Goat Mountain. It's the highest peak on the island, it dominates the skyline, and it presents a challenge that hikers travel from all over the world to take on. So, it stands at 874 meters. Now in Scotland, that officially makes it a Corbett, a specific class of mountain. It might be just a little bit short of the more famous Munro status, but don't let that fool you. This is a serious climb. But oh, is it rewarding. The views from the top are some of the best in all of Scotland. Period. The most popular way up Hay starts right from the grounds of Brodick Castle. You follow a really well-marked path, first through a beautiful forest, and then it opens up onto the mountainside. The last part is a bit of a steep scramble over some granite boulders, but believe me, it is so worth it. On a clear day, you can see for miles and miles, across to the mainland, over to the islands of Jura and Islay. Sometimes you can even see all the way to Ireland. It's just breathtaking. But hey, the north isn't just about climbing Goatfell. You've got the incredible Brodick Castle itself, the historic home of the Dukes of Hamilton. A little further up the coast is the stunning ruin of Loch Ranza Castle. You can pop into the Arran Heritage Museum to get a real feel for how people lived here. And you absolutely cannot miss Corrie. It's probably the prettiest village on the island, just a string of white cottages tucked between the sea and the mountains. Okay, let's leave those jagged peaks behind us and head south of that big fault line. As soon as you cross it, the landscape just softens. The vibe completely changes to rolling green hills and these beautiful, gentle coastlines. But the history here is just as epic. Out on the west coast, you'll find Machrie Moor. This place it feels ancient. It's one of the most important prehistoric sites in the whole UK, with 6 different stone circles from the Neolithic and Bronze Ages. It's about a 4-kilometer round-trip walk to get to the main circle, but let me give you a heads up, the path can be seriously boggy. Trust me, you'll want good waterproof boots for this one. But standing there, among those giant stones, is an experience you will never forget. A little further south, you'll find a spot that is tied to one of Scotland's greatest legends, the King's Caves. It was right here, hiding out from his enemies, that Robert the Bruce supposedly watched that determined little spider again and again and got the inspiration he needed to go back and fight for Scottish independence. And there's so much more in the south. Lamlash is the island's biggest village, and it sits in this beautiful bay looking out at Holy Isle. You can actually take a little ferry over to the Isle, which is now a nature reserve, and a center for world peace run by a Buddhist community. Lamlash is also where you'll find the Clearance Memorial, a really powerful monument to the families who were forced off their land. It's a sad but important part of Arran's story. After all that exploring, I bet you're getting hungry. Well, you are in luck, because over the last few years, Arran has become a real foodie island. It's absolutely celebrated for its incredible local and artisanal food and drink. You know, you can actually taste the island's split personality in its whiskey. It's amazing. Up in the north, at Loch Ranza, you have the original distillery making this classic, smooth, non-smoky single malt. Then you go down to the south, to the brand new Lag Distillery, and they are all about a rich, smoky, heavily peated style of whiskey. It's a perfect liquid reflection of the island's 2 halves. But listen, it is not all about the whiskey. You've got the Island Cheese Company making these incredible award-winning cheeses. Pair one of those with some famous oatcakes from Woolies of Arran. Perfect. If you want something sweet, try Arran Gold. It's this amazing malt cream liqueur. There's a local brewery too, and even a company called Arran Aromatics that makes luxury soaps and lotions inspired by the scents of the island. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. The geology, the history, the amazing sights, the incredible tastes. So let's wrap this all up with some practical advice to help you plan your very own perfect trip to Arran. This is probably the #1 question people ask. The island looks small on a map, but it is just packed with things to see and do. So how long do you really need to stay to get a proper feel for the place? Here's a pretty good rule of thumb. If you've only got a weekend, say 2 or 3 days, you can definitely hit the main highlights. You could climb Goatfell, see Machrie Moor, and maybe tour a distillery. But if you want to really immerse yourself, explore the little villages, walk a bit of the coastal path, and just breathe, I would really recommend 5 to 7 days. It just gives you that time to slow down and really soak it all in. And the best part about Arran is that you can totally tailor the trip to what you love. So if you're all about hiking and the outdoors, you're going to focus on Goatfell and the Arran Coastal Way. If you're a history nerd like me, you'll head straight for Machrie Moor and the castles. For the foodies, it's all about the distilleries and the cheese shop. And hey, if you just want to relax, the peaceful villages of Lamlash and Whiting Bay are absolutely perfect. So there you have it. From its fiery volcanic origins and ancient stone circles to its modern, award-winning food and drink, Arran really is Scotland in miniature. It is a place where every road, every hill, every stone has a story to tell. The only real question left is, where will your story begin?